For decades, we thought we knew how the story of our universe began. We had a map, a timeline, and a set of rules that seemed unbreakable. But on July 11, 2022, everything changed. The James Webb Space Telescope sent back its first deep-field image, and it wasn't just a picture. It was a forensic report from the edge of time. In these tiny specks of infrared light, scientists found something that shouldn't exist. Galaxies that were too big, too bright, and far too old. This is the story of the crisis in cosmology. A discovery so shocking, it threatened to tear up the textbooks and rewrite the history of everything. If you're ready to explore the darkest corners of our origins, make sure to like and subscribe. This is part 1 of our 10-part investigation. To understand what shocked the scientific world, we have to look back to the moment the lights first turned on, 13.8 billion years ago. According to the Standard Model, the early universe was a dark, chaotic soup of gas. It took hundreds of millions of years for the first stars to ignite. Galaxies were supposed to grow slowly, merging, colliding, and evolving over eons. Like children, they were meant to start small and simple. But when Webb pointed its golden eye at the cosmic dawn, it didn't find toddlers. It found giants, 6 massive galaxies that appeared fully grown just 500 million years after the Big Bang. These were mature, massive systems, containing as many stars as our own Milky Way, at a time when the universe was only 3% of its current age. One researcher called them universe breakers. They shouldn't have had enough time to form. It was as if someone had found a fully built skyscraper in the middle of a prehistoric forest. If these galaxies are what they seem to be, the Standard Model of cosmology isn't just slightly off. It might be fundamentally wrong. How did we miss this for so long? Because the light from these ancient giants has been stretched by the expansion of the universe, shifted into the infrared spectrum, invisible to the human eye. Hubble saw the ghosts of these galaxies, but Webb sees the heat. It sees the physical structure of an era we thought was empty. The data was so contradictory that some scientists initially thought it was a mistake, a calibration error in the telescope's most sensitive instruments. But as the checks were completed and the verification came in, the reality set in. The universe had been hiding a secret for 13 billion years. Were the first stars much bigger than we thought? Or did supermassive black holes jumpstart the birth of galaxies with a violence we never imagined? We are standing at the edge of a new frontier, a place where our most basic assumptions about time and space are being tested to their breaking point. In the next part, we'll look at the seeds of chaos, the monsters at the heart of these impossible galaxies that shouldn't have been able to grow so fast. If you're ready to see how deep this rabbit hole goes, make sure you've joined us for this journey. The truth is stranger than we ever predicted. But before we talk about black holes, we have to address the most disturbing possibility of all. What if the universe is much, much older than we thought? This was just the beginning. The dawn was not what we expected. Next part, the black hole paradox. See you there. The galaxies Webb discovered were impossible, not just because of their size, but because of the monsters hiding at their hearts, the seeds of chaos. Welcome back. In this second chapter, we investigate a mystery that threatens to break our understanding of physics, the supermassive black hole paradox. In the modern universe, supermassive black holes take billions of years to grow, slowly feeding on gas and stars. But in the early universe, they were already giants. Scientists found black holes with masses equivalent to billions of suns, existing less than a billion years after the Big Bang. This shouldn't be possible. There is a physical limit to how fast a black hole can grow, a speed limit imposed by the very light it consumes. It's called the Eddington limit. To reach these sizes so early, these black holes would have had to break that speed limit constantly, or they were born much larger than we ever imagined. One theory is direct collapse, where massive clouds of gas skip the star phase and fall directly into a black hole, a violent birth of a monster. Others believe the first stars were hundreds of times larger than our sun, dying young and leaving behind massive seeds that could grow at a frantic pace. If you're finding this investigation fascinating, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We're just beginning to unmask the secrets of the early cosmos. Webb's data is starting to favor the heavy seed model. It's seeing the physical evidence of black holes that started big and stayed hungry. This changes everything. It suggests that black holes and galaxies didn't evolve separately. They might have been born together, locked in a dance of creation and destruction. We call it the feedback loop. The black hole regulates the galaxy's growth, and the galaxy provides the fuel for the black hole's insatiable appetite. But the pace is still too fast. Even with heavy seeds, some of these giants defy our timelines. There is something else at play, something invisible. Could dark matter be the secret architect, providing the gravitational scaffolding that allowed these monsters to form and feast with such efficiency? The deeper we look, the more the standard model of cosmology feels like an incomplete map. We are finding the landmarks, but the roads don't connect. We are forced to ask, is our timeline of the universe wrong? Or are the fundamental laws of gravity different when the universe was in its infancy? In the next part, we'll investigate the hidden hand of the universe, the invisible force that might be responsible for everything we've seen. Part 3. The Dark Matter Architect. The paradox remains. The seeds of chaos have been planted. Join us in the next chapter as we follow the dark matter trail. See you there. To understand how the universe built its first giants so quickly, we have to look for something that isn't there. The hidden hand, the invisible architect. Welcome back to the Impossible Dawn. In this third chapter, we investigate the force that holds the cosmos together, dark matter. Gravity alone shouldn't have been enough to pull the first gases together into massive galaxies in just a few 100 million years. There had to be a head start. This head start was provided by the cosmic web, a vast invisible scaffolding of dark matter that spanned the entire universe before the first star was ever born. We cannot see dark matter, but we can see its fingerprints. It warps space itself, bending the light of distant galaxies like a cosmic lens. By mapping these distortions, scientists have revealed that every major galaxy sits at the center of a massive halo of dark matter. In the early universe, these dark matter halos acted as gravity traps, funneling gas into high-pressure pockets where stars and black holes could grow with terrifying speed. If you're ready to uncover the invisible forces that shaped our world, make sure you've subscribed. The investigation continues. Dark matter wasn't just a skeleton, it was an accelerator. It allowed the seeds of chaos we discussed in Part 2 to grow far beyond the normal limits of physics. When we run the math without dark matter, the universe is empty. When we add it back in, the impossible galaxies suddenly start to make sense. But what is dark matter? It doesn't reflect, absorb, or emit light. It is the ultimate forensic mystery, the architect whose face we have never seen. Without this invisible scaffolding, you wouldn't be here. The Milky Way wouldn't exist. The universe would have remained a cold, featureless gas. We are starting to realize that the dark side of the universe is actually the dominant side. We are just the ornaments on a much larger, invisible machine. But if dark matter is the architect, then why is it so unevenly distributed? Why did some galaxies get everything while others were left behind? The more we learn about the scaffolding, the more we realize that the architect might have a more sinister purpose than just creation. In the next part, we'll look at the dark side of dark matter, the moment where gravity turns from a creator into a cosmic executioner. Part 4. The Great Destroyer. The invisible hand is moving. Join us in the next chapter as we investigate the end of all things. See you there. Gravity is the architect of the universe. It pulls gas into stars and stars into galaxies. But gravity has a dark side, a side that doesn't build, it destroys. In this fourth chapter of The Impossible Dawn, we look at the moment where the creator becomes the executioner. The day gravity turns on its children. In the early universe, where galaxies were packed close together, the pull of gravity became a weapon of mass destruction, a cosmic audit of life and death. When a star wanders too close to a supermassive black hole, gravity's grip is no longer uniform. It pulls harder on one side than the other, literally shredding the star into ribbons. In a single event, a monster can consume nearly half of a star's entire mass. The rest is cast out into the void as a scream of X-ray light. But black holes aren't the only destroyers. Galaxies themselves are cannibals. Larger systems use gravity to strip the gas and stars from their smaller neighbors. Webb has captured the forensic evidence of these galactic mergers. We see the mangled remains of once great structures, now being digested by the victors. The more massive the system, the more it warps the very fabric of reality. Gravity doesn't just move objects, it bends the rules of space and time to suit its hunger. At the heart of every impossible galaxy is an insatiable hunger, a supermassive black hole that grew by consuming entire solar systems in a cosmic eye blink. These diagrams show the point of no return. Once gravity wins, nothing, not even light, can escape the executioner's blade. If you're ready to see how this cosmic audit ends, subscribe to the archive. We are unmasking the truth, one layer at a time. When the destroyer feeds, it shines. The gas falling into the void heats up to millions of degrees, creating the brightest objects in the known universe. Quasars. A single quasar can outshine an entire galaxy of hundreds of billions of stars. It is the lighthouse of a slaughterhouse. The paradox is that the most destructive force in the universe is also the most visible. We find the black holes not by their darkness, but by the light of their victims. Our forensic timeline shows that destruction isn't an accident. It's a fundamental part of how the universe evolves. To create the new, gravity must destroy the old. Eventually, the destroyer wins. It consumes all the gas, leaving the galaxy red and dead, a cosmic graveyard where no new stars can ever be born. And behind it all is the dark matter scaffolding, the invisible hand that guides the victims into the destroyer's path with cold, mathematical precision. Scientists are now realizing that our universe isn't just a place of creation. It is a system designed for a slow, inevitable audit of energy and mass. Even on smaller scales, the destroyer's reach is terrifying. It can turn worlds into dust before they even reach the event horizon. There is no negotiation with gravity. There is no escape from the singularity. The more it eats, the stronger its grip becomes. It is the ultimate winner. We stand in awe of the architect, but we must also fear the executioner. We are witnesses to a crime scene that spans billions of light years. But if gravity is the executioner, we have yet to meet the force that will eventually turn the lights out on the universe itself. Part 5. The lights go out. The audit is underway. The Great Destroyer is just getting started. Join us in the next chapter as we face the end of light. See you there. The universe is cooling. Every star we see is a temporary candle in a vast, encroaching dark. We are living in the golden age of light, but that age is ending. Welcome back to The Impossible Dawn. In this 5th chapter, we perform a cosmic autopsy on the final vital signs of our universe. The end of the stelliferous era. The stelliferous era is the epoch of stars. For 100 trillion years, the universe will be defined by the light of fusion. But the fuel supply is finite. Galaxies are machines that turn gas into light. But as gravity, the destroyer, collects all the mass, the raw hydrogen needed to build new stars begins to vanish. There will come a day when the last cloud of gas collapses. The last new star will ignite in a universe that has already begun to go gray. Our forensic audit shows a hard limit. Once star formation hits 0%, the universe loses its ability to renew itself. The lights can only go out from here, but the end is slow. The smallest stars, the red dwarfs, are cosmic hoarders. They burn their fuel so efficiently they can live for trillions of years. Long after the great giants like our sun have collapsed into white dwarfs, these small red embers will be the only things left glowing in the dark. If you're ready to see the full timeline of our cosmic future, subscribe and join the archive. We are witnessing the end of time itself. One by one, the galaxies will fade. The vibrant spirals will transform into dark, frozen graveyards of cooling matter. The scaffolding of dark matter will hold nothing but ghosts. Entropy is the ultimate law. It dictates that heat must flow to cold until everything is uniform, a state of perfect frozen equilibrium. In the far future, some theories suggest stars will turn into iron through quantum tunneling, cold, dark spheres that will never shine again. From our vantage point at the edge of time, we are monitoring the slow, inevitable shutdown of the cosmic machine. Every photon is a record of a dying world. Imagine being there. One lone red dwarf, a tiny spark in an infinite ocean of black. The last light in a universe that has forgotten what it means to shine. Then, the final moment. The last red dwarf exhausts its fuel and begins its final cooling. The infrared signature drops to 0. The signal is lost. For the first time in 100 trillion years, there is no light. The stelliferous era is over. The universe is now dark, cold, and dead. But the story doesn't end in the dark. In the next part, we enter the degenerate era, where even the husks of stars begin to fail. Part 6. The Degenerate Era. The light has failed. The long night has begun. Join us in the next chapter as we face the ghosts of the cosmos. See you there. The age of stars is over. The fires of fusion have been extinguished. The universe has entered its long twilight, a forensic crime scene of cooling matter. Welcome back to the impossible dawn. In this sixth chapter, we investigate the era of degenerate remnants, the phase where the universe is populated only by ghosts. White dwarfs are the retired hearts of stars like our sun. They no longer create energy. They simply exist, slowly leaking their stored heat into the infinite dark. Inside these cooling husks, gravity has sculpted carbon into a crystalline lattice, vast planet-sized diamonds floating in a lightless ocean. Then there are the neutron stars, objects so dense that a single teaspoon of their matter would weigh billions of tons. They are the ultimate gravitational anomalies. Our forensic tools show a universe in stasis. The signals are weak, the temperatures are dropping, and the map of the cosmos is becoming a graveyard of dead matter. To access the full archive of our cosmological investigation, make sure to subscribe. We are documenting the final moments of everything. Even the failed stars, the brown dwarfs, find themselves huddling in the dark. They are the orphans of the stelliferous era, too small to ignite, too large to simply vanish. But even these remnants are not permanent. There is a theoretical limit to matter itself, a slow, inevitable process called proton decay. If the theories are correct, even the atoms that make up the white dwarfs and the neutron stars will eventually fall apart. Matter will simply evaporate. One by one, the degenerate remnants will dissolve. The cosmic graveyard will be cleared, leaving behind nothing but the ultimate victors of the universe. From our vantage point, we are observing the final autopsy of matter. The evidence suggests that our current reality is just a brief flash in an eternity of dark. The last infrared heat signatures are failing. The remnants are going cold. The signal from the degenerate era is losing its strength. When the last star husks dissolve, only the monsters will remain. In the next part, we investigate the final masters of the universe. Part 7. The Black Hole Era. The twilight is deepening. Join us in the next chapter as we face the masters of the void. See you there. The cosmic graveyard is empty. The stars are gone. The planets have dissolved, and the very atoms of the universe have fallen apart. Only the monsters remain. The black holes. Welcome back to the impossible dawn. In this seventh chapter, we investigate the final masters of the universe, an era that will last longer than everything that came before it combined. For billions of years, we thought black holes were permanent, but Stephen Hawking discovered a leak, a process called Hawking radiation, where black holes slowly bleed energy back into the void. This evaporation is agonizingly slow. A black hole with the mass of our sun would take 10 to the power of 67 years to disappear, a duration the human mind cannot truly grasp. In this era, the universe is a collection of gravitational islands. Each black hole is a record of a dead galaxy, a gravestone made of pure energy and distorted time. We are tracking the final vital signs of the cosmos. If you're ready to see how the story ends, subscribe and join our archive. The clock is ticking. The largest supermassive black holes, the ones Webb found in the early universe, will be the last to go. They will endure for 10 to the power of 100 years. As a black hole shrinks, it gets hotter. In its final moments, the slow leak becomes a flood. The forensic signal shifts from a faint hum to a violent violet scream. The very end is an explosion. A subatomic black hole releases its final energy in a burst of gamma rays, the last significant events in the history of the universe. One by one, the gravestones will shatter. The cosmic graveyard will be cleared. Gravity itself, the great destroyer, is finally running out of things to hold. From our vantage point, the forensic report is becoming a record of nothingness. The evidence is evaporating. The universe is becoming a void of pure light. We are witnessing the ultimate victory of quantum mechanics over gravity. The monsters are not invincible. They are part of the cycle of decay. We stand at the threshold of a universe with no scale, no time, and no future. A place where the dawn has truly turned into a permanent night. But when the last black hole is gone, the universe is not truly empty. In the next part, we face the final state of light. Part 8. The Photon Age. The monsters have faded, the masters are gone. Join us in the next chapter as we face the ghost of light. See you there. The last masters of the universe have vanished. The black holes have evaporated into bursts of gamma rays, leaving behind a cosmos that is effectively empty. Welcome back to the impossible dawn. In this 8th chapter, we face the final state of light, an era of infinite space and the ultimate thinning of energy. Energy has not disappeared. It has simply been spread so thin that the distance between any two particles is now measured in billions of light years. Photons, the ghosts of the stars and black holes that came before, are the only residents of this vast graveyard. They drift, carrying the final memories of a hot universe. From our vantage point, the forensic audit is nearly complete. We are counting the final threads of a tapestry that once contained hundreds of billions of galaxies. As the universe continues its relentless expansion, these photons are stretched, their wavelengths become longer and longer, their energy cooling toward absolute zero. This is the coldest the universe has ever been, a state of permanent thermodynamic equilibrium where the word heat has lost all its meaning. We are documenting the final dissolution of reality. If you're ready to see how the clock finally stops, subscribe and join our archive. The end is approaching. In this era, a photon might travel for an eternity without ever encountering another particle. The universe has become a map with no landmarks and no scale. Even the memory of matter is fading. The atoms that built the first galaxies are now just radiation, drifting ghosts in a cold, dark ocean. We are recording the final entries in the cosmic database. The evidence is being deleted by the very laws of physics that once created the stars. A single photon traveling forever through a void that has no end. It is the ultimate forensic artifact, the last witness to the existence of time. When the energy of these final photons drops to zero, the universe will reach its terminal state, a place where nothing happens and nothing ever will again. We are standing at the edge of the ultimate silence, a place where the light has thinned into a permanent, featureless dark. The dawn has finally failed. But before the final silence, there is one last era to investigate, an era of cold, dark iron. In the next part, we face the final monuments of matter. Part 9. The Iron Star Era. The light is thinning, the void is winning. Join us in the next chapter as we face the final survivors of the cosmos. See you there. The light has thinned to nothing. The stars have all burned out and the black holes have evaporated. But the universe is still hiding one final secret. Welcome back to the Impossible Dawn. In this 9th chapter, we investigate the final monuments of matter, the era of the iron stars. Long after the heat of the Big Bang has dissipated, the husks of dead stars, the white dwarfs, remain, cold, dark, and seemingly permanent. At these extreme temperatures and timescales, the normal rules of chemistry fail. Matter begins to behave like a wave, searching for a way through the energy barriers of the atom. It is called quantum tunneling, a slow, rare process where atoms can fuse without heat, purely through the bizarre probabilities of quantum mechanics. Over trillions upon trillions of years, this process forces all matter toward the most stable element in the universe, iron, the ultimate destination of atomic fusion. The transformation is absolute. A star that once burned with the fury of a billion suns becomes a silent monument of solid, cold iron. To reach this state, the universe must endure for 10 to the power of 1500 years, a timeline that makes the entire previous history of the cosmos look like a heartbeat. We are approaching the final chapter of our story. If you're ready for the ultimate silence, subscribe and join us for the grand finale. Inside an iron star, there is no fusion, no gravity-defying heat. There is only the cold, geometric perfection of a metallic lattice, a crystal of pure stability. These stars do not shine. They glow with a ghostly, rhythmic pulse, the final heartbeat of a universe that is almost out of energy. Every iron star is a record of a system that once lived. They are the artifacts of an age that has been forgotten for eons, the ultimate graveyard of matter. This is the longest era in the history of our universe, a trillion years of silence, where the only landmarks are these cold iron monuments. Our quantum audit is coming to an end. We have reached the point where entropy has won almost every battle. Matter is at its most stagnant. But even iron is not eternal. Even these final monuments are part of the cycle of decay. The universe is preparing for its final act. Wait long enough, and even the iron will fail. Matter will continue its slow evaporation until the very concept of a solid object is gone. In our final chapter, we investigate the moment the lights finally go out for good, the end of the universe as we know it. Part 10. The Final Silence. The monuments are crumbling. Join us in the grand finale as we face the ultimate silence. See you there. We have reached the end of the line, the final monuments of matter, The iron stars are beginning to fail. The very structure of reality is crumbling. Welcome to the final chapter of The Impossible Dawn. In this grand finale, we face the ultimate state of our universe. The moment the clock stops forever. Over time, scales so vast they defy notation, even the stability of iron is lost. The monuments we thought were permanent are now just artifacts of a forgotten era. Energy continues its slow, relentless thinning. The distance between any two remaining particles has grown so large that they can no longer influence one another. The Webb is broken. From our terminal observation deck, we are witnessing the final vital signs. The thermal heat signatures are flatlining. The cosmic machine is shutting down. The forensic audit is reaching its conclusion. The numbers are dropping. Trillionths of a percent of light remain in a universe that once contained billions of suns. Imagine being there for the very last event. One final spark. One final pulse of heat. The last record of a universe that used to be alive. Then, nothing. The last star flickers out. The last energy is gone. For the first time, the universe is truly at peace. The dawn has given way to total silence. We are no longer witnesses to a crime scene. We are the architects of a record that no one will ever read. The forensic report is complete. We often fear the end, but perhaps there is a hidden beauty in this ultimate state. Absolute silence is the universe's only state of perfect symmetry. No conflict, no decay, just the void. Throughout our journey, we have seen how the universe builds, destroys, and ultimately dissolves. The story that began with James Webb's golden eye has led us to this inevitable conclusion. Entropy is not a flaw, it is the fundamental rhythm of time. Every star, every black hole, and every thought was a brief, beautiful defiance of the dark. We are privileged to exist in the golden hour. A tiny sliver of time when the lights were on, and the universe was busy becoming something. We are the universe witnessing itself. Perhaps the purpose of all that light and heat was simply to reach this state. A final, permanent silence where the architect and the executioner are finally one. The dawn is complete. The mystery is solved. There is nothing left to find, but in that nothingness, we have found the ultimate truth. Thank you for joining us on this investigation into the edge of time. If you've been moved by the story of our cosmos, watch the full journey from the beginning. Join the archive. The audit is finished. The signal is gone. See you in the beginning. Goodbye.